goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com. They are in Plano. They are in Southlake. They are in Fort Worth. Southlake's open noon to 5 on Sundays. So learn more at goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com. 20 years of experience helping your feet feel better. Goodfeetdfw.com, Plano, Fort Worth, Southlake, goodfeetdfw.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit ReputationDefender.com. Oh, look at this traffic. We'll never catch our flight.
Relax. We'll use valet parking at the terminal.
Valet? That's expensive. Did you get a raise?
No, got to refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union. You can get one too. Call EECU at 800-396-1414. They'll beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%? Heck, with that kind of money, I could take my wife to that Italian restaurant she likes, and I wouldn't have to ride with you anymore.
Very funny. I was paying 5% APR. They took me down to 3% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment. Man, it was fast and easy.
So tell me again, how do I refi my car loan with EECU?
Just call 800-396-1414 or visit eecu.org/the answer. Tell them your current APR. As long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, but hurry. It's a limited time offer. Call 800-396-1414 or visit eecu.org/the answer.
Subject to credit approval. Membership required. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-396-1414 for details.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've been telling you about Relief Factor for about 6 months now. I've been using Relief Factor for a lot longer than that. Just like you, I've heard about Relief Factor on the radio, and I simply had to try it because I had hip and knee pain that wasn't going away. Well, it worked for me in about 2.5 weeks. So I asked them if I could endorse the product. That's a true story. Now I'm hearing from listeners everywhere, like Tim from Pennsylvania, who wrote, "Pain I had lived with for 3 to 4 years has completely disappeared. After 2 months of Relief Factor, it has totally vanished. I'll be 72 in March, and I feel at least 10 years younger. It's great to be pain-free again." It sure is. If you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, knee pain, general muscle aches and pain, do what I did. Go to ReliefFactor.com, order their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Try it for 3 weeks, $19.95. ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com, or call toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
If you've been mattress shopping lately, then you know the stores around here are all pretty much the same, with the same mix of brands and models, not to mention all the confusing pricing. There's one mattress store in town that's very different. It's Sovereign European Sleep Systems. Designed for deeper, more restful sleep, custom tailored for a vastly more comfortable fit, not a one-size-fits-all. Superior comfort and durability with made-in-America prices. Sovereign European Sleep Systems in Dallas and Southlake. Learn more at sovn.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. It was something I was very happy about. I was invited to a town hall meeting by the Honorable Pete Sessions, who is the representative of the 32nd Congressional District in the state of Texas. He is a Republican, and I can say this in a straightforward fashion, he's my friend. We don't agree on everything. I occasionally catch Congressman Sessions being a politician. And that's okay. It's my job to catch him doing that, and he knows it, and he thinks that's okay too. I ask him tough questions. He gives me good answers. So when he's on, make sure you listen, because he's about to tell you something you need to know. It was also appalling. I walked into that town hall meeting and I couldn't believe my eyes. Could not believe my eyes. Never in my history as a journalist or commentator have I seen a more embarrassing display of leftist fascism, irrational foolishness, and disrespectful thuggery, I wrote earlier today on my Facebook page. In 2016, Pete Sessions won the 32nd Congressional District with a 71.1% vote. On Saturday, what the city of Richardson showed Texas and the nation was 100% embarrassing. Make no mistake, Richardson at large was not in attendance. The people there were there as the result of a concocted cabal of predetermined chaos. Yet Richardson was portrayed not as a thriving community of hardworking Texas patriots, but was badly damaged by near Bolshevik fervor of rabid leftist lemmings rushing toward the abyss to total and totalitarian oppression. Rest assured, the small group of Republicans and conservatives in the assembly, those of us who were not crowded out by Democrat thugs, were there. We attempted to discern what the questions were. We attempted to hear what Congressman Sessions was trying to say. Because of the foolish, rude, disrespectful behavior, we found ourselves only being able to communicate with incredulous looks and rolling eyes, as fact after fact was drowned in a near non-stop shouting match, highlighted by nothing short of mob sneers. To his credit, Congressman Sessions was understanding of the post-Obamian sabotage of the new leadership in Washington, D.C. His respect for these proletariat vandals was clearly apparent in every measured response. To the leading questions intended only to incite, as well as the predictable hog calls from the assembled agents of pointless disrespect. To my respectful Republican and conservative friends in Richardson. To my Democrat, Texas patriot friends in Richardson. You have been tarred with the barbarism of your leftist neighbors. Their willingness to display such contempt for a sitting congressman should be instructive to the consideration of how you should repair this foolish, ill-advised damage to your otherwise vibrant community. The city of Richardson embarrassed itself in front of the eyes of the nation. And no, it wasn't the typical Richardson native that caused the problem. It was the civilian version of the deep state. It was the fascism of the post-Obama Democrat world. The unfettered contempt. That only fascism can truly bring to a public gathering was in full display. I absolutely hate speaking about any town in Texas like this. I am absolutely stunned by what I saw on Saturday. It demands an accounting. Just exactly how is it that Richardson went down the tubes on Saturday the way it did, to the depth that it went, with the speed at which it flew down into the stinking sewers of what's worse, of the absolute dregs of American politics. Rebuking my neighbors is not something that I'm keen on. It's not something that I take any pleasure in whatsoever. But I want an accounting. Of course, the savage cowardice that I saw on Saturday would not lend itself to somebody saying, well, I had good reasons and here they are, which is, of course, what I would need to be able to come to some sort of understanding of the depravity that I saw on Saturday morning. %71% of the vote went to Pete Sessions in that district. It was plainly obvious that that room was filled by the other 29%. Unruly. I've used all the words I need to describe it. But let me get to the reality of it. There were people there that wanted to actually hear from Pete Sessions. There were people that actually voted for Pete Sessions that wanted him to account for some of the things that he's been up to. They were all drowned out by the same, and I'm going to say it again, fascist mess of a mob that could only see the various leftist progressive talking points that they had doubtless been given by some agent provocateur before they showed up at this supposed town hall meeting where people sit around and actually discuss what's necessary and what's needed. The Texas 32nd is an important district. The people living in congressional districts all over the country not just deserve to be heard, but absolutely must be heard for the sake of the republic, for the sake of this country. Now, I realize that there are an awful lot of people who, with the re-election of President Obama, were really hoping for the demise of the nation that they had found before they found that very charismatic political superstar who represents the number 44 in the parade of presidents. But the people of the United States spoke eloquently, if simply, in the choice of an American instead of a progressive. While there certainly is safety in numbers, in this case, a progressive leftist thug mob that defiled Richardson High School on Saturday, the simple reality is that for everybody who saw that, not a part of your, pseudo-enlightened political class, all we saw was classlessness. Something far closer to the reality of what progressive leftism actually is, as opposed to the vaunted ideological dream world in which its participants stand and apparently live. How ridiculous was it? Well, it was so ridiculous that when there was a question about Planned Parenthood, everyone, every single female in the entire hall, with the exception of the conservatives and Republicans that I was talking about earlier, and the estrogen-poisoned men in the group, stood up and started cheering as loudly as they possibly could. As they virtually demanded from a sitting congressman that the federal government, a federal government that does not fund the American Cancer Society, continue the funding of this horrifying collection of baby millers, parting out the human refuse of their sick industry. Pete Sessions wisely said, well, we are increasing the funding for women's health in the United States by $400 billion. Which was not anything close to what the assembled mob needed to hear. Was it an artful response? It was indeed. It was a brilliant political response by a real pro. But why should he have had to answer it to begin with? Well, because truly, the madding crowd demanded it. What are your thoughts? This is the Wells Report.
What if you could have an experience of a lifetime, and I mean it, a lifetime this year? Dennis Prager here, and a timely and important expedition to the land of Israel awaits you. Make plans now for the Stand with Israel tour happening this fall. Join me on a 9-day trip to Israel that offers you firsthand insight into Israel's unique past and probably unique future. We'll introduce you to the geopolitical, economic, and security dynamics of a truly remarkable nation. Get a behind-the-scenes view into many of the places you've read and heard about, all during United Jerusalem's 50th anniversary. The Western Wall, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, Golan Heights, and much more. With expert guides and important lectures at key sites, all in the comfort and safety of first-class accommodations.
Look forward to something special this year. Stand with Israel. For details about this all-inclusive trip happening this fall, visit 660amtheanswer.com for all the details.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. And I don't know about you, but in this crazy weather year, I've been using the AC some ever since New Year's. And here comes even warmer weather, so this news is great. Up to 30% off on new systems from Trane. From Walker AC and Heating, check it out. If you qualify, you could get 0% financing APR for 72 months Look, if your system just needs repair, they will do it and at a fair price. But if it is time for a new system, it's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat these great deals from Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're great folks. Give them a call at 972-4WALKER, 972-4WALKER, or walkerac.com. Call 888-653-0051 for financing program details about credit costs and terms. Regular APR 28.99% for newly opened accounts. APR may vary, subject to credit approval. Offer expires 12/31/2017. I love Walker AC. Check them out. 972-4WALKER or walkerac.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, and train, because it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. When you're looking for a company to install new windows in your home, you need to understand the difference between years of experience and years in business. Many companies talk about how many years of experience they have, but that does not necessarily make them a good fit for your project. The term years of experience tells me they've been doing something for a period of time, but not necessarily successfully. The more years a company has been in business will tell you they're an organization who takes care of their customers, because if they didn't, they could not survive in a competitive market. I'm happy to say Statewide Remodeling has been in business for over 22 years. And as to experience, we have installed over 120,000 windows in Texas. We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home, and a satisfaction guarantee your money back. All that's in writing. So if you're ready to get straight talk about new windows for your home, give us a call. The estimate and window evaluation are free. And if you decide to purchase, you'll receive 20% off your project. And while supplies last, I'll throw in a Yeti Tundra 35 ice chest. Call 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095.
Hey, it's Mark Davis and my friends at Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. This may be the company that I've done business for the longest of anybody I talk about. When I came back to my native Texas in the mid-90s, as soon as the rotation begins of anniversaries and birthdays and any kind of jewelry shopping, you want to go someplace that has fantastic prices and great selection. Boom, there you are. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. DGSE.com to learn more. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Go to their new flagship Dallas location, northeast corner of Preston and LBJ, or South Lake or Euless or Arlington. Incredible selection. Engagement rings, anniversary presents, necklaces, bracelets, pendants. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange, DGSE.com. And for buying gold, it's the simple way. Online, you're waiting for it to arrive in the mail. You're giving up a lot of info. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. You walk in, you buy gold, you take it home. Boom. That's my way of buying gold. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. Check the locations, check the prices. You'll love them. DGSE.com. Dallas Gold and Silver Exchange. DGSE.com.
Compassion International presents the Rock and Worship Roadshow featuring Stephen Curtis Chapman. Sunday, March 26th, 6 p.m. at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, along with Francesca Battistelli, Ren Collective, Passion, Family Force 5, Jordan Feliz, and the Roadshow's pre-show party with Derek Minor and Urban Rescue. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com and the AAC box office. Welcomed by 94.9 KLTY. More info at theroadshowtour.com.
It's time to honor our veterans with the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. 660 AM The Answer joins with Patriot Mobile to spotlight a veteran each month. If you know a veteran who deserves such an honor, then go to 660amtheanswer.com and nominate them to be Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. Winners will receive a Crossroads Diner gift certificate and an award from Patriot Mobile. Plus, they'll have an opportunity to come to the studios to meet Mark Davis and John David Wells. Go to 660amtheanswer.com to nominate your veteran. That's the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You must hung up.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Most Americans, particularly those in suburban and metropolitan areas, may not know where their town hall is or even if their town has one, but lately everyone, it seems, is ready to attend a town hall meeting. The use of a town hall gathering for political grandstanding outreach, political gain is a long-standing tradition embraced by both parties. Go back through the news and you'll find all kinds of things like this. Town halls are pure early Americana, dating back to 1633 in Massachusetts. It was wonderful. They'd have politicians speak. They'd have a debate, a witch burning. It was fantastic. During the 19th century, communities built town halls for the express purpose of advancing civic engagement. Springfield, Massachusetts, 1828, the town assembled to ceremoniously unveil its new, bigger town hall George Bliss wrote, the community needed a building that could contain near all the legal voters in town. The building would long continue to be a place where the inhabitants might peacefully assemble and transact municipal concerns. By the way, this brilliant article written by Stephanie Cohen from National Review. The size and space, its ability to accommodate as many people as possible, was the expression of what would take place within the walls, and the manner of that expression that would matter so much. A body so numerous as the voters in this town cannot think alike on all subjects. A readiness to give others the same privilege of expressing freely their opinions, which we claim for ourselves, is all important. Efforts to keep order in ourselves and others are also requisite. Experience and observation have taught us how easily strife and angry passions may be excited, and it is the duty of all to avoid as far as possible the occasions of offense. There's the word that has escaped me so far about the Saturday town hall: offensive. Offensive. Let me get to Dave in Burleson. Dave, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
A town hall meeting was more like a town riot.
It was ridiculous. It was
Yeah,
the worst.
I wasn't there, but just going by what you're saying.
I have no reason to lie, and I certainly would. I am not even overstating it. I'm not overstating it, Dave. I sat there and I sat there for an hour and a half and listened to just offensive political thuggery. It was fascist nonsense. I looked over at a friend of mine who was standing there, and I said, you know, this is how the Bolshevik Revolution started, right here like this.
Yeah. And something that I'm wondering about is how many of these people go from meeting to meeting to meeting and disrupt them. And it's the same people that are rotating around.
Thanks very much, Dave. I think it was instructive at the end. Congressman Sessions was getting into his car, and a woman said something about the spending of Donald Trump. And Pete Sessions said, well, what about the $897 billion that was spent in the first year of the Obama administration? And that wasn't a political opinion. That was a fact. And she denied that it ever happened. When you are so willing to disregard truth for the sake of politics, the loss is apparent, is it not? This is the Wells Report.
At any time in Texas, it can feel like the change of the seasons. But I'll tell you what, as we work our way into springtime, Abacus Foundation has been serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair solutions for 17 years. With a warmer temperature and additional moisture, oh my, the foundations can be rocking and rolling. So if you got cracks in the sheetrock or doors that are sticking, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. 972-406-9000. These are the people I call. These are the folks who have been to my house. These are the folks who will not give you a foundation job you don't need, but will tell you exactly what's going on. Now, if you do need a new foundation, you got the Millennium Composite Pilings, the strongest, and folks at Abacus are the only folks offering it. And get this, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. AbacusFoundationRepair.com. Lifetime warranty, transferable, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, or AbacusFoundationRepair.com. Hey, it's Mark Davis. If I come to you on the subject of buying insurance, you might instantly recoil. Oh, it's complex, it's hard, it's expensive. What are you even talking about? Health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance? Well, I'm talking about all of those, and I've got a place you can go that makes it simple and affordable. It is PolicyGenius.com, an AR genius, PolicyGenius.com, POLICY, PolicyGenius.com. Unbiased advice and real quotes on health insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, disability insurance, even pet insurance, hey, veterinary bills. It's one magnificent site, PolicyGenius.com. Great advice. You get to compare insurance quotes and save, and you can then apply and buy. One place, PolicyGenius.com. The simplest way to get the right policy for you at the right price. No jargon. It's unbiased. It's an honest approach that puts you first. PolicyGenius.com. Check it out. I've done it. I love it. POLICY, PolicyGenius.com.
I used to play a lot of sports in college, but when I got older, my legs started to burn and ache, making it hard to work out. Then I noticed those varicose and spider veins. I couldn't believe it. I thought this only happened to my mom and her friends.
The professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million personalized procedures for their patients, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring your legs back to health in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I called Vein Clinics of America, and they fixed my legs. No more ugly veins. Now I can run and do squats again.
Guys, get back in the game. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors and learn how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call now. 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, it's that time of year again. The AC business is slow, so here come the crazy gimmicks. Right now, you'll hear the warehouse clearance guy, the free furnace guy, and my personal favorite, the guy who says he'll work for no profit. Because come on, that's just ridiculous. Well, guess who's not going to insult your intelligence with silly gimmicks? Reliant Air Conditioning. We've partnered with your utility provider to offer real instant rebates, up to $1,500 off qualifying systems. When you combine that with up to $3,500 off of Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. So call the crazy gimmick guys and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number is 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Did you pay a lot for that quote top-of-the-line mattress and it's already breaking down and uncomfortable? Time to look into the Sovereign European Sleep System. The Sovereign bed is simply a better bed made with certified organic cotton and wool covers and 100% natural latex cushioning, never polyurethane or memory foam. More comfortable too, custom tailored for greater individualized comfort based on your size, weight, and primary sleeping positions. Superior comfort and durability with made-in-America prices. Sovereign European Sleep Systems in Dallas and Southlake. Learn more at SOVN.com.
So there you are, working hard and growing your business. You know you've got a great concept and your customers love you, but you need more customers and you're not sure what to do. You know radio works. You're listening right now, but everyone's talking about digital advertising and you don't want to miss out. Let us help. 660 AM The Answer will spend time with you perfecting your message, and we'll do it by combining the power of radio and digital, because that's what we do. Find out more at 660 AM The Answer and click on Advertise with Us.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AM TheAnswer.com. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. You can find us on YouTube live events. I'm on TV right now. I'm looking at those people and pointing at them right this minute. I'm pointing right at them. And they know that I'm pointing right at them. I'm enjoying the discourse on Twitter, Facebook, and so on and so forth between the people that heard my reporting of what happened in Richardson. And I'll be honest. Those people who are trying to minimize this are missing the point. There are several really good people who are liberals, or in other words, have disparities with my politics. Not that that's, we just disagree, okay? But at least are civil to each other. John Sanchez is one of those guys. And John is saying that most of the people that were in the hall were actually there, who actually lived in Richardson. If that's the case, Richardson has a huge problem. Actually, I said it earlier, John. I don't know whether you heard, but the simple reality of it is that 71% of the people in Richardson reelected Pete Sessions. Clearly, these people represented the other 29%. Okay? Because John alleges that these were people that did not appreciate what Pete Sessions had to say. It didn't make any difference what Pete Sessions had to say. The only time they were quiet was when they attempted to get through the Pledge of Allegiance. And that was tenuous at best. I don't care. I don't care if those people grew up in the backyard of Pete Sessions. To treat a sitting congressman like that is appalling. He says he was there. Why he's trying to defend that ridiculous behavior, I have no idea. All I know is that John has his reasons. He's a reasonable guy. But it was embarrassing. It was shameful. Absolutely shameful. Let's continue. President Trump's choice to sit at the Supreme Court will get his turn in the political spotlight tomorrow. Judge Gorsuch, Neil Gorsuch, is going to be able to start taking questions from the Senate Judiciary Committee, a committee that is far, far better a committee in the past than it has been in the future. Well, or in the present, at least since the arrival of Al Franken. You know what Al Franken does? Unfunny people with dim intellect. He gives unfunny people with dim intellect hope that at some point you could have the coolest job in the world, that being that of a United States senator. What a bumble. That Minnesota, the people that sent Walter Mondale to Washington, D.C. would send Al Franken is, well, there really doesn't need to be much explanation after that, does there? Oh, God almighty. Democrat leaders are trying to gin up resistance to Gorsuch. It's not going to be an easy circumstance. You know, the crazy people have had to jump into the fray. People like Naral and Pro-Choice America. They are trying to push Senate Democrats around for not putting up more of a fight against Gorsuch. Democrats have failed to demonstrate a strong, unified resistance to this nominee, despite the fact that he is an ultra-conservative jurist who will undermine our basic freedoms and threaten the independence of the federal judiciary, blah, 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 blah. Look, as long as the Democrat Party requires the useful idiots of the judicial branch of this government to enact their agenda, I will be able to maintain a strong, unfettered resistance to paying attention to anything that these leftist crazy people have to say regarding these people who would serve us on the Supreme Court. The justices themselves hope the arrival of Gorsuch would end what court sources say has been a tense 13-month period since the death of Judge Antonin Scalia. The current 4-4 ideological divide has kept the court off of its internal workplace rhythms, operating in something of a judicial vacuum, reluctant to tackle hot-button issues that would lead to precedent-setting impact. Which, by the way, I just want to say, I brought up as a good thing. Yes, I, John David Wells of the Wells Report, brought up that having a 4-4, a demonstrated 4-4 standoff in the Supreme Court is not a terrible thing. Because they are indeed afraid to take up any topic. That fear should be endemic throughout the entire court, whether there's a 4-4 balance or not. One of the problems with the Supreme Court is that it keeps thinking about things. And truth be told, these may be the greatest legal minds in the history of the United States of America. It's true. These may be the greatest lawyers that ever opened a law book. But dang it, they can destroy this country in a blink. It really concerns me. Despite the criticism of some on the left, the Senate minority promises tough questions from the nominee. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're going to try to push him off his spot, try to make him feel like he should have never taken this opportunity to become this part of this court at this time. I understand all that. The Democrats are already upset about the fact that this is clearly a conservative justice, someone who is absolutely unassailable by the right or the left. He's the perfect nominee. Somebody said something about the fact that he's a member of a progressive Episcopalian congregation in Colorado. And having seen the rather odd sudden lurch to the left that the Episcopal Church took, one I could not join them in. Okay. It does concern me that this could be a Trojan horse. But then again, when I think about everything that he's ever said and how he's ruled over his career, I think it's good that I have a little consternation, because at the very heart of my thoughts of the Supreme Court, at the very heart of what I think a Supreme Court ought to be, is the notion that a balanced representation of the political ideologies of the day is what that court needs and deserves. Unfortunately, with the current political circumstance being such a blunt instrument, trying to come up with some level of, what should we say? Some level of precision in picking the right people to maintain a balanced court is impossible. And so you can only depend on the swinging pendulum of the change of political tastes in the nation. And the somehow inexorably scary uncertainty of who's going to pick who based on what politics at what moment at any given time in the history of the U.S. You just hope that pendulum and the chances that it represents continue to work to the benefit of we the people. It will be very, very good television. It will be very, very good news tomorrow. We will see just exactly how the Democrats handle Neil Gorsuch. But it appears as though Donald Trump has done the exact right thing in picking the exact right guy for this particular circumstance. As a matter of fact, if it comes up that he has another judge to take, I would suggest that it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to pick another of the 11 that were on that very carefully thought of and thought out list that Donald Trump announced during his campaign. As far as him picking a third one, As far as him picking a third one, I don't know. I don't know who I would pick. I don't know whether I would pick someone who would say, oh, I don't know, someone who would be another conservative from the list. I don't know whether that would be the person. I don't know that I wouldn't, say, for example, try to come up with someone a little bit more towards the middle. I don't even know whether I would not put up for consideration, and it would be a good idea.
Look at.
I don't know that it would be such a bad idea to put somebody in the middle. Not because, and this is where I fight with it. This is where I say, John David, your thoughts that we should have someone that is in the middle, or someone that balances the court.
Merrick Garland
is not necessarily, it's not valid. It's just not real. It's your fondness for American ideology. I'm sure of it. But I think that if Donald Trump could indeed pick one, maybe two conservative justices, that if I were him, I wouldn't necessarily consider throwing Merrick Garland back in the mix. It would be a gesture that might be able to heal some of the wounds between the political parties in the United States. Who knows? We might be able to actually gather in a town hall someplace without it turning into a food fight. I can dream, can't I? But all I can say is this. I think I represent a lot of people who say that it is just about time for us to start answering this post-Obama state sabotage of the Trump administration in the way that it should be handled, in the very direct and straightforward American way. It's about time to knock this garbage off and get back to the business of being Americans. Get back to the hard work of being neighbors. Get back to the hard work of trying to move the country forward instead of trying to get some sort of political mileage out of slapping around the people that we elect. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong in all of this. I truly am. But I'll be honest with you. How much damage is the Democrat Party going to allow these leftists to inflict on it? How much damage are you going to let the Democrat Party take? You going to let it go all the way down the tubes? Well, take a look at the tapes from Saturday. You may be well on the way, and it may be too late to save the Democrat Party. This is the Wells Report.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-827-5948 now. That's 800-827-5948 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-827-5948 to learn more. more. 800-827-5948. That's 800-827-5948. Or visit reputationdefender.com. Oh, look at this traffic. We'll never catch our flight.
Relax. We'll use valet parking at the terminal.
Valet? That's expensive. Did you get a raise?
No, got a refi on my car loan with EECU Credit Union. You can get one too. Call EECU at 800-396-1414. Beat your current APR by 2% and lower your payment.
2%. Heck, with that kind of money, I could take my wife to that Italian restaurant she likes, and I wouldn't have to ride with you anymore.
Very funny. I was paying 5% APR. That took me down to 3% APR. Plus, I got up to 90 days to make my first payment. Man, it was fast and easy.
So tell me again, how do I refi my car loan with EECU?
Just call 800-396-1414 or visit eecu.org/the answer. Tell them your current APR. As long as you've had your loan at least 90 days, they'll beat it by 2%.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, but hurry. It's a limited time offer. Call 800-396-1414 or visit eecu.org/the answer.
Subject to credit approval. Membership required. Additional terms and conditions apply. Call 800-396-1414 for details.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Simple Sleep, inviting you to make 2017 the year for a healthier you with healthier sleep. Snoring is not just evidence that, hey, you're really sleeping soundly. It is evidence that there's something the matter. It's an interruption. Sleep apnea is a barrier to the proper amount of air, oxygen, getting to your heart, getting to your bloodstream. Let's fix this. Surgery will fix it, but who wants surgery? CPAP device, big old helmet and hose. Now keep going. Simple Sleep Services offers the best way. The Somnodent device. It's what they did for me. Simple oral appliance. You pop it in, kiss your wife goodnight, and boom. Silent night, even when it's not Christmas. No CPAP, no surgery, just simple sleep. Great people to deal with. Insurance covers it. Dallas and Fort Worth. Let's call them. 469-685-1700. 469-685-1700. If you don't want surgery and the CPAP thing's a deal breaker, 469-685-1700 or simplesleepservices.com.
Attention homeowners, if you're buying a new home or refinancing your present one and you haven't locked in a low rate from Guaranteed Rate, don't miss out. Visit rate.com today. While the Fed recently decided not to increase interest rates, that isn't likely to last. They have 3 interest rate increases penciled in for 2017. So if you want to potentially save thousands of dollars, visit rate.com and lock in your low rate with Guaranteed Rate today. Type RATE.com directly into your address bar to find and lock in a perfect loan for you at a low rate. You may be surprised by just how much money you could save. Don't wait for the Fed to raise rates. Go to rate.com now to lock in your low rate with Guaranteed Rate. Don't wait. Go to rate.com today. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will be approved for financing. Call 1-888-672-1234 for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. NMLS ID 2611.
It's time to honor our veterans with the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. 660 AM The Answer joins with Patriot Mobile to spotlight a veteran each month. If you know a veteran who deserves such an honor, then go to 660amtheanswer.com and nominate them to be Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. Winners will receive a Crossroads Diner gift certificate and an award from Patriot Mobile. Plus, they'll have an opportunity to come to the studios to meet Mark Davis and John David Wells. Go to 660amtheanswer.com to nominate your veteran. That's the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. It's 9:55. Let me close this hour out with a couple of tweets I've gotten from a couple of people. Good tweets. One of them is from John Sanchez, the guy I was talking about just a little bit ago. He said, thanks, JD, you're a good man. Although we differ, we also agree when it comes to our families and our country. And I said, of course we do, John. We're Americans. This is important. Listen, we respect the fact that disagreement is cheap insurance. What if one of us is wrong? Disagreement is cheap insurance. And then Matt brought up something that I should have, I remember hearing, but I forgot to bring it up. And thanks for the reminder, Matt. Mr. Wells, what do you make of the fact that Pete Sessions' district voted for Hillary in the 2016 election? Explains the town hall crowd. And I said, Matt, that's a very good point. As for explaining the town hall crowd, nah. I have no problem with disagreement. Disrespect, contempt, inanity at the level of art, I got big problems with that. Those people in Richardson, I don't care who they voted for. I don't care if they voted for Chairman Mao. They also voted for Pete Sessions. In droves. They need to act like it. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. So, how's the Trump presidency working out for everybody so far?
Every presidency gets a first wave of serious reviews after the first 100 days, so we thought we would do that at a great event. And you're invited. Hi, I'm John David Wells, and we want to welcome you to President Trump, the first 100 days.
Brought to you by Southwest Office Systems and 660 AM The Answer, Tuesday night, April 18th, the Eisenman Center in Richardson. JD and I welcome our network buddy Mike Gallagher and special guest Senator Ted Cruz.
Tickets start at just $19, backstage VIP at $135.
Tickets on sale now at 660amtheanswer.com. We'll be looking for you Tuesday, April 18th at the Eisenman Center in Richardson.
President Trump, the first 100 days. Join Mark Davis and me, John David Wells, along with Mike Gallagher and Senator Ted Cruz. Get your tickets right now at 660amtheanswer.com.
660 AM The Answer and Southwest Office Systems present President Trump, the first 100 days, made possible by our national tour sponsor, MyPillow. Visit MyPillow.com and type in discount code 100 days to buy the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. And I don't know about you, but in this crazy weather year, I've been using the AC some ever since New Year's. And here comes even warmer weather, so this news is great. Up to 30% off on new systems from Trane. From Walker AC and Heating, check it out. If you qualify, you could get 0% financing APR for 72 months. Look, if your system just needs repair, they will do it and at a fair price. But if it is time for a new system, it's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat these great deals from Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're great folks. Give them a call at 972-4WALKER, 972-4WALKER, or walkerac.com. Call 888-653-0051 for financing program details about credit costs and terms. Regular APR 28.99% for newly opened accounts. APR may vary, subject to credit approval. Offer expires 12/31/2017. I love Walker AC. Check them out. 972-4WALKER or walkerac.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating and Trane, because it's hard to stop a train.
Compassion International presents the Rock and Worship Roadshow featuring Stephen Curtis Chapman. Sunday, March 26th, 6 p.m. at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, along with Francesca Battistelli, Ren Collective, Passion, Family Force 5, Jordan Feliz, and the Roadshow's pre-show party with Derek Minor and Urban Rescue. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com and the AAC box office. Welcomed by 94.9 KLTY. More info at theroadshowtour.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The president takes his fight to get rid of Obamacare to the people.
Healthcare was the thrust of the president's speech and rally here in Kentucky tonight. And he pointed to that all-important vote in Congress this Thursday. He said the best chance of eliminating Obamacare.
Thursday is our chance to end Obamacare and the Obamacare catastrophe.
Fox's Jeff Locke reporting from Louisville. FBI Director Comey testified before the House Intel Committee about alleged Russian efforts to derail the Hillary Clinton campaign.
They hated her, Secretary Clinton, wanted to harm her, and thought it might have a chance to help Mr. Trump, and then later concluded that Mr. Trump it was hopeless, and they would focus then on just trying to undermine Secretary Clinton.
The president tweeted the Democrats made up the Russian story as an excuse for running a terrible campaign. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You're listening to 660 AM, The Answer.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis and my friend Josh Dishong of Josh Dishong Real Estate at Keller Williams. He's my friend, and I'd say that even if he hadn't sold my house. But since he did, I really love him. We're big fans of Josh because he did what others could not. He can do the same for you. Here in 2017, are you sitting in a house that you're trying to sell? Others have tried, but nobody can? Call Josh right now. Get on board with the Josh DeShong system, 972-325-6644, 972-325-6644, or getsold.net, getsold.net. What is that system? He makes you a promise that says, I'm going to talk to you about a price that you can sell this house at and a time frame that makes sense. And if I can't sell that house at that price in that time frame, I, Josh DeShong, will buy that house from you. Either way, you are done. You're at closing. You're clear. You're happy, just like Lisa and I are. We love Josh. Get on board with him today at 972-325-6644, 972-325-6644, or getsold.net.
High-tech bath remodeling? You're kidding, right? No, I'm not kidding. Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzari, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. You know, we remodel over 200 bathrooms a month, and our customers know the difference from what we do and what other companies don't. Problem for the old companies offering bath remodeling is they're doing it the same way they've done it forever. Is there anybody listening who thinks construction is not advanced in the last 10 years? Take it from me, after 22 years in business, I've seen many things change. From the substrate materials that eliminate leaks to the adhesives that are used to secure the products to the wall and foundation, and even the grout that's virtually mold and mildew proof. When you get a bath remodel from Statewide, this isn't the same one your mom and dad got back in the day. So why take a chance with the other guys who are doing it the old way? We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home and a no-leak warranty that's the longest in the industry. And if you call now, you get 20% off. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. Call now.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. That's 1-800-700-1134. 1-800-700-1134.
Sean Hannity here for my friends at Generator Supercenter, the great American story. Now, this started in 2005 with two brothers selling and repairing generators out of their garage in Texas. Today, they are the #1 Generac dealer in the nation. #1 means more savings for you. When the power goes down, keep your home or business up and running with a Generac standby power system from the Generator Supercenter. Financing available, payments as low as $100 a month. GeneratorSupercenter.com. That's GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Dennis Prager here. And for 2 years now, I've been telling you about my wife, Sue, who tried Relief Factor because of her knee pain, and it worked. And if you're struggling with ongoing back or neck pain, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, or general muscle aches and pain, do what my wife, Sue, did. Try Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com. or call them toll-free 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Who's there?
Falling off.
Falling off who?
Falling off pain patch.
What?
Don't be fooled by the knock-knocks. Get the relief you deserve with Blue Emu's Lidocare pain relief patches. Our narcotic-free, maximum-strength adhesion formula with dry technology won't have you worrying about a corny knock-knock joke anymore, because pain is no joke. Find us at CVS, Walgreens, and Amazon.
Dallas Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Imagine you're up late one night. It's after midnight. Maybe you're finishing up a movie. Or maybe you're reading a book. It's too good to put down. Maybe you're a young man named Andrew Scott, and you're playing video games with your girlfriend. Suddenly, you hear a loud pounding on your door. A loud pounding on your door. You're not expecting anybody. No one's shouting or yelling anything from the other side. The pounding continues. The door rattles on its hinges. What would you do? I can tell you what I would do. I would go grab my Beretta M9A1. The comfortable feel of that big old Beretta in my hand. My confidence in my ability to shoot that damn thing really, really well. Don't ask me why. I really shoot that thing well. Can't explain it. But I would go to my door with my weapon, and I would open the door slowly, and I would say, "Hello, can I help you?" And if I was like Andrew Scott, I'd be living the last moments of my life. Yes, your home is your castle. It's where you and your wife, your kids, it's where you live. If you're Andrew Scott, you're a good guy. You got no big issues. Playing video games with your girlfriend. A loud pounding. It's late. Nobody says a word. Bam, 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 bam. You've got your constitutional and human rights. They're guaranteed under the Second Amendment. You get to defend your family, your life, your home, and the lives of the people entrusted to you. But then things go south in a big damn hurry. Because you see, the people pounding on the door were the police. Police who had no search warrant. Police who had their emergency lights off. Police who didn't identify themselves. Police who went to the wrong address. Police who showed up at the wrong house. The house of a completely innocent man. And then, without firing a shot or even chambering a round in his pistol, Andrew Scott gets shot to death. Fortunately, it was only a panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, so I don't have to trash and crap on the entire court. All I have to do is figure out which 3 judges were the idiots that came up with this ridiculous idea. But apparently, the panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals held that the entire circuit court did not have to review the case en banc, in other words, all of them, just last week. The officer who shot Andrew Scott, a man by the name of Richard Sylvester, never faced prosecution for killing an undeniably innocent man. There was conflicting testimony as to whether Scott was pointing the gun at the officers. How did he know they were officers? Did he lead with when he opened the door to find out who it was, did he lead with the muzzle of his pistol? The police officers thought that they were at the home of a man who had just committed a violent crime. But the 11th Circuit wasn't deciding a criminal case. They threw out a civil lawsuit, a claim brought by Scott's estate for monetary damages for violations of Scott's civil rights. The court held the officer was entitled to qualified immunity when he fired the fatal shots. Why? Because when he showed up at the wrong door and misunderstood a neighbor's directions, refused to identify himself, then gunned down a man who was entirely lawfully carrying a weapon in an entirely lawful circumstance, the officer did not, the court claimed, violate any of Scott's clearly established legal rights. How about that to pursue happiness? And not in the classic Beatles sense of happiness being a warm gun. No, I'm talking about genuine happiness, like finishing the video game with his girl instead of dying on the floor of his house, probably trying to figure out, well, how the hell did this happen? As he passed into oblivion. The qualified immunity doctrine holds that public employees can't be held individually liable for violating citizens' constitutional rights unless those rights have been clearly established. You know, by saying, this is the police, open the door. Then if you show up with a pistol, right, then you get shot. That's what happens. No, you put your pistol down and you show them your hands. Hi. I'm opening the door with my right hand. Here's my left hand, and here's my right hand. Come on in. My girlfriend and I are just finishing up. Give me the name of a video game.
Call of Duty.
My girlfriend and I are just finishing up a game of Call of Duty. Wow. Nice try.
Thanks.
Candy Crush?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because you're playing with
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. Just finishing up a game of Angry Birds. Can I help you guys? I suppose I would put up with being thrown on the floor because this guy said, well, I thought you were a violent guy who had just done violent crime. This whole thing just blows. It's ridiculous. In the circumstance, and this is where things again go dangerously awry, the judges writing for the majority of the court chastised the dissenting judge's alleged failure to identify any cases with facts similar to the undisputed facts here. Then noted that clearly established law shouldn't be defined as a high level of generality, but must be particularized In other words, since Scott's attorneys couldn't find another court that had ruled against police in a similar set of disastrous circumstances, well, they were just SOL. David French, who wrote this article for National Review, then says, how's this for a clearly established right? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Much of the case turned on analysis of the Fourth Amendment, which lays out the right of the people to be secure against unreasonable search and seizure. That probably wouldn't apply here, right up to the point where you killed somebody. The panel, and by the way, if you're a cop listening to this and gritting your teeth saying, there's that idiot spewing again, fix it. If I'm getting something wrong, call me on the telephone, officer, and tell me that I'm getting it wrong. Please. I'm a talk show host, not a police officer. You have forgotten more about being a police officer than I will ever know. The objective of this show is truth. If you disagree with what I'm saying, fix it. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. The case centered on the Fourth Amendment, the people's right to be secure against unreasonable search and seizure. The panel specifically considered whether a police officer at Scott's door had engaged in a permissible knock and talk procedure. The dissent noted there was no talk here. There was a knock and shoot procedure. But in reality, the case represents an unacceptable collateral attack on the Second Amendment, says David French. Now, David French doesn't know anything about being a judge either. But he dons his journalist-powered black robe, his polyester security blanket, and moves forth. Deputy Sylvester testified Scott flung open the door and pointed his gun directly at his face. The plaintiff presented evidence that when Scott opened the door and saw a man outside crouching with a gun, he immediately retreated, and his gun was at all times pointed down at his side. The next part is critical for the understanding of the danger of the court's reasoning. Through the quirks of civil procedure, the court was required to evaluate the case as if the plaintiff's account was true. Pay close attention, citizens of the 11th Circuit, that's Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. If you exercise your constitutional right to keep and bear arms in your own house, agents of the state who show up at the wrong house, do not identify themselves, can kill you with legal impunity, even if you are retreating and even if you point your gun at the ground. As I said before, if you are a police officer and you are angry with what I am saying as if I had gotten it wrong, by all means, fix it. 866-660-5759. We'll just call you Officer Bob if you don't want to be known. I don't know why you wouldn't. My record with supporting the police is ironclad. But this is something that John David, the CHL holder, does not understand. This is something that I really, truly concern myself with. Why didn't the police say who they were? This is the Wells Report.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, it's that time of year again. The AC business is slow, so here come the crazy gimmicks. Right now, you'll hear the warehouse clearance guy, the free furnace guy, and my personal favorite, the guy who says he'll work for no profit. Because come on, that's just ridiculous. Well, guess who's not going to insult your intelligence with silly gimmicks? Reliant Air Conditioning. We've partnered with your utility provider to offer real instant rebates, up to $1,500 off qualifying systems. When you combine that with up to $3,500 off with Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. So call the Crazy Gimmick guys and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
I used to love wearing dresses and shorts. Then I started getting spider veins, and even worse, those embarrassing, bulging, varicose veins. For a while, I covered up my legs, but then I discovered Vein Clinics of America.
Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. And for 35 years, they've been the leading expert in the treatment of vein disease. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as an hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
My legs look great and feel great. I even love wearing dresses and shorts again.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for spring. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Ever had buyer's regret? A pair of shoes you didn't really need? Electronics obsolete before you even plug them in? Or tens of thousands of dollars of timeshare regret? That's what you get when you're stuck with a timeshare agreement you don't want anymore. We're the Timeshare Exit Attorneys, the leaders in helping folks get out of timeshares and erasing regret. See if you qualify. For valuable free information, call 1-800-500-1967. Maybe you made an impulse buy that has become a financial burden you can no longer afford. Maybe you don't use the timeshare enough to make it worthwhile. Maybe you were pressured by a timeshare salesperson into making a bad decision. Now you want out because your timeshare isn't a fun escape, it's a waste of your money. With decades of experience, we're your #1 trusted option with fast, professional service. No middlemen, no cutting corners, no more timeshare regret. See if you qualify. For valuable free information, call 1-800-500-1967. That's 1-800-500-1967.
Warning, if you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-600-3018. That's 1-800-600-3018. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-600-3018. 1-800-600-3018. 1-800-600-3018.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-500-0898. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-500-0898. That's 1-800-500-0898. 1-800-500-0898.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Now, the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. We are discussing the incredibly sad and tragic demise of Andrew Scott, who lives in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals territory. David French has done an amazing job reporting this story, and you needed to know about it because it's pretty close to home. It's the 11th Circuit. I don't know what they're thinking here, but they decided that nothing had happened. This was a civil case. This wasn't a criminal case. This was a civil lawsuit set aside by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. But clearly there's a mess here. Mark Joseph Stern from Slate says in an excellent piece about the ruling, it's now the second federal court of appeals, the other being the Fourth Circuit, in an opinion I wrote about in January. This is Mark Joseph Stern, that essentially held that exercising your Second Amendment rights means diminishing your Fourth Amendment rights. In fact, that Fourth Circuit opinion was so broadly written that exercising your Second Amendment rights means that gun-owning citizens, in the words of a concurring judge, can even face greater restriction on their concurrent exercise of other constitutional rights, like those protected by the First Amendment. You know why? Because these people are stupid. Stern urges the Supreme Court to step in and affirmatively declare that the exercise of one constitutional right cannot diminish the protection of another. He's right. He's also right that this is an area where liberals and conservatives should be in complete agreement. Yeah. But of course, unfortunately, most liberals are driven by the progressive left, who believes that no one should have any rights, except, of course, for those people of the progressive left. And they should only have the rights that they're able to cobble up in whatever need was necessary at the time that they were pointed out as being legally insufficient. This is not a case in which an officer faces jail time for a fatal mistake in what he thought were dangerous circumstances. Instead, it's a case where judges held that an officer was immune from even possibly paying compensation to the family of the man that he killed wrongly. The judges of the Federal Court of Appeals slammed the courthouse door in the face of aggrieved citizens without even granting them the right to stand in front of a jury and make their case. Yes, there is conflicting evidence. Yes, the situation was confused and tense. No, we shouldn't use this incident to indict all cops. But in the United States of America, when an agent of the state makes mistake after mistake and kills an innocent man who is guilty only of exercising his most basic and fundamental constitutional and human right, at the very least, he should have to face the possibility and accountability for paying for that mistake. You should be able to open your door and protect yourself at the same time. Don't you think? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. God bless the family of Andrew Scott. God bless his girlfriend. So sad, so sorry. So bad. God. You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Again, our telephone number 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Waiting for you. Join us on the Wells Report. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word trial to 303030, and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now, here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text TRIAL to 303030 and get started for free right now. Again, text TRIAL to 303030.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
You know, I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got behind in my payments, and creditors were calling. I figured I had a problem, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I heard about Trinity, so I called and talked to a counselor. In half an hour, we worked out a plan. Now I've got one easy monthly payment, a lower interest rate, and I'm getting out of debt.
If you're in an endless cycle of paying on credit card balances that never seem to go away, then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity will consolidate your accounts, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call 1-800-936-5348. That's 1-800-936-5348. Call 1-800-936-5348.
Consult your tax professional before investing. Let me ask you a question. Can you keep your 401k or IRA safe from the death of the dollar, continued rampant Fed spending, political corruption, and from the possible new Cold War with Russia? If you answered no, then listen up. Fortunes are going to be made and lost over the next few months. It's time you took action. Over 50,000 people have requested our Gold IRA investment guide to learn how to protect their retirement savings. Now it's your turn. We are Advantage Gold, the #1 rated gold IRA company in America by TrustLink. Right now, we are giving away a free copy of our new Gold IRA protection guide to anyone with an IRA, 401k, or retirement account that is over the age of 55. Just call 1-800-900-8000 right now, and we will help teach you how to keep your retirement savings away from the government and safe in your pocket. Just call today at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Representatives are standing by. Call 800-900-8000 today.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Church and Les Stouter with the Startup.com show, and I want to tell you about RG Patent Consulting. They specialize in helping small and large entity innovators worldwide obtain patent protection. Just visit their website at rgpatentconsulting.com and set up a personal interview with one of their highly trained patent professionals. And don't forget to keep tuning in to the Startup.com show.
Listen every Sunday at 8 p.m. for Startup.com on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hey everyone, Larry North here for ViaScan. ViaScan is the most advanced scan you can actually do for the body in the world and the only one in Texas. ViaScan does body scans, heart scans, lung scans, virtual colonoscopy, and much more. The best part is it's all non-invasive. Their mission is to provide you with the most advanced technology, support, and education to empower you to improve your health. Call ViaScan today, 1-800-585-2702, or better yet, go to the website 123bodyscan.com.
Yeah, your toilet's definitely clogged, but I think I found the problem. Sir, is this your action figure?
Yes, I sent him in to check out the pipes.
As a small business owner, you've got enough to deal with. Let the experts at Progressive insure your business so you can focus on more important things. With over 30 commercial, auto, and business coverage options, we'll build a plan that's right for you.
I got something else. Are these toy cars?
Had to send in backup.
Visit progressivecommercial.com to get started. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I know I need to earn my MBA if I want to move up. I'm looking for an MBA that offers unique concentrations. I want an online MBA that's top-ranked, established. I care about the school's reputation because I know my future employers will too.
Thinking about earning your MBA? At Northeastern's DeMoore McKim School of Business, we offer a 100% online MBA with 8 concentrations that can help set you apart in today's competitive workforce.
To speak to an enrollment advisor, text INSPIRE to 37913.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report with John David Wells. Must Hear Radio on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Let's find out what Mark Davis has for us. He's going to be on the air tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Mark, what's up?
Hey, JD, happy Monday night, and welcome to the week that we could call Battle of the Hearings. In one room, FBI Director James Comey and a ping pong match featuring wiretap claims and Trump ties to Russia, both of which may amount to nothing. But down the hall, the Gorsuch Supreme Court confirmation hearings, which will save our nation once he reaches the high court to protect our Constitution from judicial activism. We'll have the latest from all these hearings, all the overnight news people need. Tomorrow morning's Tuesday morning Mark Davis show, 7 to 10 a.m. Come join me, everybody, right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Thanks very much, Mark. I appreciate that. Sorry, I had something I was working on right over there. See, I was working on somebody right over there. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. You are Magic Matt Swinney. That's right, everybody.
We're by ourselves this week.
Yeah, you see, you should tell that story. You really should, because we're kind of sort of how they say in America, we're operating at a deficit. This entire week, in fact, we're operating at a deficit.
Yes, for those who don't know, Vicky Stifer
is our executive producer.
The executive producer, and my wife. We told her to take this week off so she could rest.
And so that she wouldn't stab us to death in a fit of rage.
Yes. And so now, yours truly, Magic Matt Swinney, the technical director and conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra,
yes,
is also your call screener this week.
Well, not just our call screener, but indeed
and producer,
yes, and researcher, as it turns out. Yes, indeed. And more importantly, we are missing yet another of the job titles that Vicky holds, which is not just executive producer, but also, how do I say this?
Leader of the Wells Report?
Well, I was thinking more along the line of good taste wrangler. And we occasionally lapse into boy talk when it's just Matt and I. Tom Brady found his jerseys. Last two.
For this year and from 2015.
Can you believe it? The same miscreant Snot. Man, the same miscreant Snot stole both jerseys. See, just like that. That was a moment of boy talk right there. Okay. All right, then. All right. So anyway, where was I? Oh, I was going to talk about something, and I've been trying to avoid it. But I'm not going to anymore. Kim Jong-un, yes.
Cowgirl in Arlington just called.
Oh, goodness. Yes, what did Cowgirl need?
She said that Vicky was the commander-in-brief instead of the commander-in-chief.
Well, I would have to allow you to comment on that because I'm not going to think of your beloved in brief. So I imagine she's wearing yours. Well, I thought you'd be wearing your boxers. What the hell? Girls in boxers are cute. I'm just saying. All right.
Go on and talk about North Korea.
Yeah, we got to talk about North Korea. So all of this stuff is going on in Washington. We've got Donald Trump, who is about to, I'm beginning to think that Donald Trump is about to kick some people squarely in the Washington tuchus over this wiretapping thing, because I think he's got something. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to put it out there, and it's going to be just they're trying to figure out whether or not it's going to damage him so much in the press that whether it's worth it or not. Because if Donald Trump were to come up with something that proves the absolute ridiculousness of either being monitored by somebody offshore and then have that information provided to intelligence and government officers, high government officers, and then found its way into the mainstream media, which all of this all happened. How did it happen? Well, obviously somebody leaked something somewhere. So how did that information get there if President Obama didn't have anything to do with it? Let's take President Obama at his word. He had nothing to do with it. Well, somebody else in the administration sure did. Who was that? And how did that information get into the hands of information officers and then to the media. Well, he's got to figure that out. But with all of this stuff going on, Gorsuch, et cetera, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, now this inexplicable malfunction of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which, by the way, came as a news tip by one of my friends from Facebook. We have, it seems as though, the spark that could start World War III in the person of Kim Jong-un and his nuclear inventory. Here's what he had to say. He has threatened to use North Korea's, quote, invincible Hwasong rockets to rain down nuclear destruction on its enemies. Kim Jong-un has threatened to reduce the U.S. to ashes as tensions with North Korea continue to increase. The statement said the Korean People's Army will reduce the bases of aggression and provocation to ashes with its invincible Hwasong rockets, tipped with nuclear warheads, and reliably defend the security of the country and its people's happiness in case the U.S. and the South Korean puppet forces fire even a single bullet at the territory of the DPRK. The menacing talk came as South Korea warned that its northern neighbor's latest rocket engine showed meaningful progress. The fact that its rocket engine showed meaningful progress belied the inability of the regime to be able to come up with a reliable can opener for its citizens to use, but diminished that by saying, as there were no real cans of food in the first place, the can opener was unneeded. Okay, that didn't actually happen. They don't have can openers, but they don't have cans of food, so can openers aren't really needed. Lee Jin-woo, deputy spokesman for the South Korean Defense Ministry, said throughout this test, it's found the engine function has made meaningful progress, but further analysis is needed for exact thrust and possible uses. State-run North Korean media reported the country's despotic leader had hailed the test as a new birth of its rocket industry. U.S. President Donald Trump told reporters he held meetings on North Korea during the weekend at his Florida resort. While he did not refer specifically to the rocket engine test, he said Kim Jong-un was acting, quote, very, very badly, unquote. Well, okay. Yeah. Now, the reason I brought this up is because not so much of what's going on with North Korea, but what's going on with China. China is sortying its only aircraft carrier, along with a few of its fighters, if not necessarily an honest-to-goodness naval air wing, into proximity of American forces that are already there. Last week, the President's Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, announced the policy of strategic patience was over and has refused to rule out military action. The diplomatic and other efforts in the past 20 years to bring North Korea to a point of denuclearization has failed, so we have 20 years of a failed approach. It includes a period in which the U.S. provided $1.35 billion in assistance to North Korea as an encouragement to take a different path. He added, if they elevate the threat of their weapons program to a level we believe requires action, that option is on the table. Meanwhile, fearing imminent attack, Japan has begun staging mass evacuation drills. In fact, today, they ran their first missile drill since the Second World War. It was a couple of days ago on this broadcast, it was last week, in fact, that I suggested that maybe it was time for Japan to become a nuclear nation, to expand the number of nuclear nations to include Japan and possibly South Korea. What are your thoughts on that? 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. The Russians brought up the THAAD anti-missile system that has been placed in South Korea, saying that that was a provocative act. Maybe, but it depends on how many people you want to see destroyed in a North Korean nuclear attack. I don't want to see anybody destroyed in a North Korean nuclear attack. The THAAD missile system is more than capable of taking those missiles out, as is the Aegis system deployed in the, I believe, South China Sea. They're able to see those rockets in North Korea and take them out as well. Between those two systems, I'm reasonably sure that no one has anything to fear of a rocket attack from Kim Jong-un. It is concerning to me that that China would have its only aircraft carrier in the vicinity. They may be new to carrier operations, but we've been doing that for quite some time. There have been a lot of people in the People's Liberation Army Navy, which is the name of the Navy of the People's Liberation Army of Red China. There have been a lot of people that have spent a lot of time studying carrier tactics. They've got it down. They also have submarines of sufficient caliber and capability to be able to defend that air carrier group from anybody except the United States. The United States submarine fleet is invincible. So the question remains, what would happen if? So what would happen if? Can you imagine this madman sending nuclear missiles into Japan? After all they've been through. Can you imagine Japan trying to wrap its collective and national mind around the possibility that after seeing two of their cities blotted out in blinding flashes of nuclear fire, that they would become the next world nuclear power? Is it time for us to get out of the way of Japan and maybe replace a couple of their aircraft carriers lost in the Second World War with a couple that are sitting in Bremerton waiting for something new to do? Maybe it would be something to let them have some capability of being able to project power to defend themselves. I don't know about that one. That would be something that the Russians and the Chinese would have to give serious concern about. But the USS Forrestal is sitting there. It seems to me that it wouldn't be a bad idea to give Japan back some capability so it can defend itself. What do you think? 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. You are listening to the Wells Report, and I'm concerned about North Korea. Truly. Can you imagine living in Japan and living through a national air raid drill? Wow. This is the Wells Report.
What if you could have an experience of a lifetime this year, something that goes beyond the mundane and gives you a unique perspective, not a vacation, an opportunity to change your life? Hi, Mike Gallagher here. A timely and important expedition to the Holy Land of Israel awaits you. Make plans now for the Stand with Israel tour happening this fall. Join me on a 9-day trip to Israel that will offer you firsthand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. We'll introduce you to the geopolitical, economic, and security dynamics of a truly remarkable place. Get a behind-the-scenes view into many of the places you've read and heard about all your life, all during Jerusalem's 50th anniversary, the Western Wall, Jerusalem, the Dead Sea, and so much more, with expert guides, important lectures at key sites, all in the comfort and safety of first-class accommodations. Look forward to something special this year. Stand with Israel for the details about this all-inclusive trip happening October 22nd through November the 1st.
Look forward to something special this year. Stand with Israel. For details about this all-inclusive trip happening this fall, visit 660amtheanswer.com.
Just look at them, having a great time. To think 6 weeks ago, I was just installed. All it took was one last spilled drink on their old dingy carpet, and they had enough of him. Thank goodness. They got the professionals at Adair's Fine Floors in here, and just look at me. I'm gorgeous. I'm not just your average wood floor. I take crazy traffic like a pro, and it's all because my homeowners called Adair's Fine Floors. Susan and Richard Adair came in, talked to the family, figured out what their needs were, and helped them find the perfect floor to fit their lifestyle. Adair's Fine Floors has a large selection with free sample checkouts, and they chose me. That's not all. Just look around. The coordinating accessories suggested by Adair's Floors. That rug over there? Yep, Adair's Floors. They offer free design and decorating assistance too, giving the home just the right look. Visit adairsfloors.com to get your home started on the right look for you. That's adairsfloors.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Well, it's that time of year again. The AC business is slow, so here come the crazy gimmicks. Right now, you'll hear the warehouse clearance guy, the free furnace guy, and my personal favorite, the guy who says he'll work for no profit. Because come on, that's just ridiculous. Well, guess who's not going to insult your intelligence with silly gimmicks? Reliant Air Conditioning. We've partnered with your utility provider to offer real instant rebates, up to $1,500 off qualifying systems. When you combine that with up to $3,500 off with Carrier's Cool Cash, you can save over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. So call the crazy gimmick guys and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number is 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. That's 1-800-700-1134. 1-800-700-1134.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Apparently, it is just absolutely unacceptable. I got a copy here of the Yucatan Times. Tell Stephen I'll be right with him. Yeah, I got a copy of the Yucatan Times. Apparently, there are a bunch of people in Cancun, one of the towns the Yucatan Times covers. Anyway, they are saying that during a family show on the high seas, young American spring breakers began to sing the controversial Build That Wall chant, which shocked Mexican national tourists and workers. This is just one of the many blameworthy behaviors the young spring breakers have shown recently in Cancun that are described as acts of xenophobia and discrimination against Mexicans within their own country, which is, or should be, totally unacceptable. Is this what we say to these people who go to American high schools, say in California, and for whatever reason, even though they're illegals, they sassily wave the Mexican flag in the face of American students and force American kids to turn their American flag t-shirts inside out? Is that what we should say? We should just say that, my God, that's unacceptable. It's xenophobic and discriminatory. That's what we should say, huh? Just keeping it real, Magic. You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. More of the Wells Report continues next.
You need a plan as you get closer to retirement, a plan that will take you from where you are now to the retirement you've always dreamed about. The first step on that path is to tune into Wealth Smart, Saturdays at 9 a.m. Your host is Reed Johnson, president of Lake Point Advisory Group. You only retire once, but Reed helps people retire every day. Don't miss Wealth Smart every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at lakepointadvisorygroup.com for information on our free area stake dinner seminars and start working on your dream retirement now.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friends at Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. And I don't know about you, but in this crazy weather year, I've been using the AC some ever since New Year's. And here comes even warmer weather. So this news is great. Up to 30% off on new systems from Trane. From Walker AC and Heating, check it out. If you qualify, you could get 0% financing APR for 72 months. Look, if your system just needs repair, they will do it and at a fair price. But if it is time for a new system, it's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat these great deals from Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're great folks. Give them a call at 972-4WALKER, 972-4WALKER, or walkerac.com. Call 888-653-0051 for financing program details about credit costs and terms. Regular APR 28.99% for newly opened accounts. APR may vary, subject to credit approval. Offer expires 12/31/2017. I love Walker AC. Check them out. 972-4WALKER or walkerac.com. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating and Trane, because it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. When you're looking for a company to install new windows in your home, you need to understand the difference between years of experience and years in business. Many companies talk about how many years of experience they have.
Hi! It's promo time. Promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time, promo time. Okay, here we go. Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch will face the Senate Judiciary Committee tomorrow. All the senators will ask all the questions they can, a half an hour at a time, and we will cover that hearing closely. We will cover that hearing as close as it possibly can be. We'll bring you all the information. We'll bring you all of the... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try again. Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch will face the Senate Judiciary Committee tomorrow. Every single senator will have 1/2 hour to question the prospective justice on anything they can think of regarding his career, regarding his record, regarding his future decisions. Join us on the next edition of the Wells Report. We'll tell you all about it here on 660 AM The Answer. Mark Davis, you know what's going to happen. Today's the day. Neil Gorsuch is facing the facing the Senate Judiciary Committee. Every senator is going to ask them all the questions they can possibly think of, including some that probably shouldn't be thought of and certainly shouldn't be asked. But enough about the Democrats. Let's move forward with the Neil Gorsuch hearings next time on the Wells Report.
Laptops, iPads, cameras, and some other electronics can no longer be carried onto some U.S.-bound flights from 8 Middle Eastern and North African countries. No word yet on what prompted the new security measures. Fox News, we report, you decide.
This is 660 AM, The Answer.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Ready and reliable, anytime, night or day. When your plumbing's got problems or your drains are clogged, that's when you need AAA. You go to AAA-auger.com.
Is your water heater tired from the winter? With the increased load on heaters during colder seasons, minerals and sediments accumulate at a much faster rate in the tank itself. Flushing your water heater now will go a long way in maximizing the life of your tank. So for a limited time only, Reliable Red and his crew of professionally licensed plumbers are offering a residential water heater flush service for only $67.50. So call AAA Auger Plumbing Services 24/7 at 877-999-1979. That's 877-999-1979. If you need a plumber fast, call AAA Auger Plumbing Services. Some restrictions may apply. License N37445.
When your plumbing's got problems or your drains are clogged, go to AAA-auger.com.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Tim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now, 1-800-700-3515. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Credit Associates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-700-3515. That's 1-800-700-3515.
At Simple Sleep Services, we believe the best way to treat the serious medical condition of sleep apnea is the easy way. Our team of doctors are experts in providing the least invasive treatment for snoring and sleep apnea, a custom-fit, comfortable solution that you simply pop in before bed each night and wake up feeling refreshed. And it's covered by medical insurance. You don't have to endure the cumbersome CPAP mask or go through the pain and downtime of surgery or implants. We are the most experienced team in the nation providing our treatment. Your diagnosis will be from a board-certified sleep physician using today's latest technology. Let us start you down the path of a restful night's sleep. Visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. Treat your sleep apnea and snoring the simple way. No CPAP, no surgery, no implants, just simple sleep. Go to simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. Don't spend another night on the couch or sleeping alone. simplesleepservices.com.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Housing values nationwide have risen by more than 6% year over year. Quicken Loans has smart ways to help you take advantage of your home's rising equity. In fact, you could take cash out to consolidate debt. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.375%, APR 4.6%. Call 800-QUICKEN today or go to quickenloans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
660 AM. The answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM. The answer.
Guess what? We just hit the top 10 on TalkStream Live. You know what that means, right? We're going to add another zero to your paycheck. You are listening. Sorry. Didn't mean to bring up something so annoying. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. And yes, we just made the top 10. The top 10, I say. I'm very happy. Very happy and very pleased. Top 10 on TalkStream Live. So anyway, we're there. I like it. And it's all because of the people that are listening to this broadcast, like Stephen in Roanoke. Stephen, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Thank you. Comment is, in regards to South Korea and Japan both, they've been our allies for decades. I happen to have been stationed in southern Japan, about 30 clicks south of Hiroshima, back in the 70s, and I would have been comfortable then with Japan being admitted into the nuclear community. And they are a sovereign nation. They have been long-time stout allies. I can see no reason why, as a sovereign nation, they should not have the means to defend themselves, especially against someone as insane as leader of North Korea right now.
Yeah, they're not, he's not pulling any punches. This guy is begging for a preemptive strike.
Oh, he's a danger to the whole hemisphere. My worry is that the Chinese will support him. I think we should be doing as much as we can to provide South Korea and Japan both with a nuclear shield, to prevent things from coming in. But if they have to respond in kind, then, I think that's their sovereign right as nations.
Yeah. Well, I think you're correct there. I think it's a situation whereby, where that's what the THAAD missile system and the Aegis destroyers out in the South China Sea are for. I think that's probably why they're there. But at some point, somebody's going to have to do something with Japan. I don't think that the thing about Japan is I'm not sure that the people of Japan would countenance being the next nuclear power. I don't know whether South Korea would feel that way either. I don't know, and I'm sure that can you imagine how China would feel about having a United States grade nuclear program in both the countries of Japan and South Korea. Can you imagine what they would think?
But on the other hand, I mean, think of how Japan feels being under that immediate threat. I mean, they're literally minutes away. They're only 15 minutes by missile to us. They're literally a few minutes away from Japan and South Korea. They have to have some way to respond quickly and overwhelmingly to North Korea. There's not really a sane way to deal with an insane ruler.
Well, that being said, you do realize, of course, that the deterrence practiced through the brilliant use of mutually assured destruction did rely on someone believing that they had something to lose.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what kept us safe. I think us and Russia both, and China. I'm not so sure with Kim Il Jong that that would be the case as deterrent.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un. Yeah, I think Kim Jong Un is begging for a preemptive strike, and I think that if he doesn't shut up pretty quick, he's gonna get his wish. And I don't know what China would do after that. I'm interested. You know, what's interesting to me is that in my perusal of world news organizations, I have found objections for the THAAD missile system and for the willingness for the United States to participate in this mess. I would find that I found that Russia was saying something about it, but China wasn't. And I'm not sure that there's not a message in that somewhere. I'm not sure that that's not a message for say, for example, the United States of America and Japan and South Korea in saying, if indeed weapons come your way, we don't care if you shoot them down. And so I think that's, reading between the lines. I don't know. Just saying. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. Rockville, Maryland is a typical American town. Typical in the fact that everybody kind of lives their life. Everybody's pretty happy. Everybody is dealing with the realities of American life, and in the People's Republic of Maryland, that also includes multiculturalism and a willingness to put the needs of illegal immigrants before those of American citizens. Jose Montano, 17 years of age, from El Salvador, and Henry Sanchez Milan, 18 years of age, from Guatemala, have been charged with first-degree rape and 2 counts of first-degree sexual offense after they attacked a 14-year-old girl at Rockville High School in Rockville, Maryland, the other day. She was walking in a school hallway when she met 2 male students identified as Montano and Sanchez. Montano asked the victim to walk with him and Sanchez. Montano asked the victim to engage in sexual intercourse. She refused. Montano asked the victim again and then forced her into a boy's bathroom and then into a stall. Montano and Sanchez both raped the victim in that stall. It was a merciless and brutal assault. She was raped multiple times. She was sodomized. They spoke to each other in Spanish. Blood and male fluids were recovered from the scene by a forensic expert. The victim knew one of her alleged attackers. According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security databases, a Border Patrol agent stopped Sanchez Milan in August of 2016 in Rio Valley Grande, I guess it's the Rio Grande Valley, in Texas, and determined he'd entered the country illegally from Mexico. Sanchez was ordered to appear before an immigration judge, but the hearing had not yet been scheduled. He had no previous encounters with U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. ICE has since lodged an immigration detainer against Sanchez Milan. The agency places detainers on individuals arrested on local criminal charges and who are suspected of being deportable, so that ICE can take custody of those individuals when they are released from local custody. Hopefully 30 or 40 years from now. Montano was a 17-year-old, therefore, because of privacy restrictions, an ICE spokesman confirmed that they couldn't release any information because he was a minor. The Washington Post has reported that Montano arrived in the U.S. 8 months ago and is a citizen of Guatemala. All of the students are in the 9th grade, according to Fox 5 DC. Yeah, that's right. Montano's 17 years of age from El Salvador. Sanchez Milan, 18 years of age, from Guatemala, are all freshmen, along with a 14-year-old girl. Whose life will never be the same. The judge who oversaw the attacker's bond hearing refused to release them on bail because of the flight risk. So at least there's someone in Maryland who hasn't lost his flippin' mind. Montgomery County State's Attorney's Office spokesman Ramon Koronoff told NBC these are very serious allegations carrying a life sentence. The potential of life in prison would be available as we prosecute these individuals. Both Montano and Sanchez will be tried as adults. The incident is horrifying, devastating to the young girl, disturbing on so many levels, said Jessica Vaughn, the director of policy studies for Washington, D.C. based Center for Immigration Studies. She said the Obama administration and its disastrous handling of the surge of illegal aliens arriving from Central America is partially to blame, noting that at least one and possibly both of these youths were part of that surge. The surge of Central American kids has become a significant problem in many of the school districts where they're allowed to resettle. Why in God's name would you put a 17 and an 18-year-old in with 14-year-olds in the first place? Montgomery County has one of the more notorious sanctuary policies, said Vaughn. Police deliberately do not cooperate with ICE. The result is that many gang members and other thugs and miscreants are allowed to remain in the country in defiance of immigration laws, causing problems like this. Vaughn also noted that just this week, the city of Rockville was considering adopting its own sanctuary city policy. I guess the city officials would certainly not proceed with such a vote unless they had checked with the parents of the 14-year-old girl first to make sure it was okay. This is the Wells Report.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. So, how's the Trump presidency working out for everybody so far?
Every presidency gets a first wave of serious reviews after the first 100 days, so we thought we would do that at a great event. And you're invited. Hi, I'm John David Wells, and we want to welcome you to President Trump, the first 100 days.
Brought to you by Southwest Office Systems and 660 AM The Answer, Tuesday night, April 18th, the Eisman Center in Richardson. JD and I welcome our network buddy Mike Gallagher and special guest Senator Ted Cruz.
Tickets start at just $19. Backstage VIP at $135.
Tickets on sale now at 660amtheanswer.com. We'll be looking for you Tuesday, April 18th at the Eisman Center in Richardson.
President Trump, the first 100 days. Join Mark Davis and me, John David Wells, along with Mike Gallagher and Senator Ted Cruz. Get your tickets right now at 660amtheanswer.com.
660 AM The Answer and Southwest Office Systems present President Trump, the first 100 days, made possible by our national tour sponsor, MyPillow. Visit MyPillow.com and type in discount code 100 days to buy the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Wow. We now know the CIA, NSA, and top intelligence agencies holding our nation's most sensitive national secrets can be hacked. Friends, this is Pat Boone with an urgent question for you today. How safe and private do you think your finances are sitting in electronic stock accounts, savings accounts, even 401ks? That's why I turn to Swiss America for answers to protect the Boone household finances and privacy. One book explains it all. The title, Don't Bank on It. And for a limited time, the first 500 callers can get a free copy. So call 800-289-2646. Again, 800-289-2646 now. Learn how to protect your money against what even the CIA cannot protect. Do it now, will you? Call 800-289-2646. Again, 800-289-2646 for your free copy of Don't Bank on It.
I used to play a lot of sports in college, but when I got older, my legs started to burn and ache, making it hard to work out. Then I noticed those varicose and spider veins. I couldn't believe it. I thought this only happened to my mom and her friends.
The professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million personalized procedures for their patients, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring your legs back to health in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I called Vein Clinics of America, and they fixed my legs. No more ugly veins. Now I can run and do squats again.
Guys, get back in the game. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors and learn how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call now. 800-300-3388. That's 800-300-3388. 800-300-3388.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper and deeper in credit card debt and you're not sure how to fix the problem? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management is a nonprofit organization that will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, and reduce your interest rates by as much as 60%. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. It's not a loan. It's a smart way to relieve your stress, meet your obligations, and preserve your self-respect. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Gather up your bills and call this toll-free number for a free, no-obligation debt analysis. 1-800-936-5348. That's 1-800-936-5348. If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5348.
Chris Tomlin presents Worship Night in America. Chris Tomlin, Big Daddy Weave, Phil Wickham, Zach Williams, Mosaic MSC, and speaker Jason Barton. Don't miss this amazing night as the church joins together. An awakening event from the Awakening Foundation.
Coming April 21st and April 22nd to Verizon Theater at Grand Prairie. On sale now. Get your tickets at AXS.com.
It's time to honor our veterans with the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. 660 AM The Answer joins with Patriot Mobile to spotlight a veteran each month. If you know a veteran who deserves such an honor, then go to 660amtheanswer.com and nominate them to be Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month. Winners will receive a Crossroads Diner gift certificate and an award from Patriot Mobile. Plus, they'll have an opportunity to come to the studios to meet Mark Davis and John David Wells. Go to 660amtheanswer.com to nominate your veteran. That's the Patriot Mobile Veteran of the Month.
660 AM, The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. There is no excuse for this unbelievable crime. That our government is party and parcel to this crime is outrageous. And no, I'm not just talking about the Obama administration. I'm talking about this stupid idea that for whatever reason we can have people living here illegally. This has been a political goat rope for 30 years. And it is beyond stupid. How many people, how many Americans have to pay for the political meanderings of these leftist progressive snots who believe for whatever reason that we're all really Americans and that we should all have the same privileges here in America because we are all really Americans? I'm sorry, Jose Montano and Henry Sanchez Milan are not Americans. They're refuse thugs from El Salvador and Guatemala. They could not care one bit about females that are walking around them in Maryland. You know why? Because they couldn't care one bit about the females walking around them in El Salvador and Guatemala. And before I start taking a bunch of gas from a bunch of people for making generalized statements about individuals, you got to remember that the age of consent in Mexico is 12. I want to know what these people in Montgomery County are thinking right now. I want to know what the city fathers of Rockville, Maryland are thinking right now. They were about to vote on a sanctuary city policy in Rockville. Can you imagine? Montgomery, like others that have absorbed a large number of Central American youths, has experienced a noticeable uptick in violence that has been attributed to gangs like MS-13. And this has been especially acute in high schools. You know, where no one can fight, where the bullies get to run rampant because if anybody hits them in the face, then the person that hits the bully in the face gets treated just like the bully because the people running the schools can't tell the difference between MS-13 members and kids trying to defend themselves from MS-13. Here's a clue. If they don't have their mother's name tattooed on their neck, chances are pretty likely they're not a member of MS-13. And again, don't give me gas. Okay? That's what MS-13 members do. They communicate their allegiance in their skin ink. What'd you do today, Bill? Well, you know I'm the principal of Rockville High School. Yeah? I just let in a couple of MS-13 members, you know, just to keep the girls on their toes. This is the Wells Report.
We finally have the home of our dreams, but it wasn't because we purchased the home of our dreams. It's because we purchased an ordinary home and hired the design experts at Adair's Fine Floors to make it extraordinary. From our complete bath renovation all the way to our sparkling new quartz countertops in our kitchen. Adair's Fine Floors does so much more than just floors. At Adair's, you'll find granite and quartz countertops, sinks, blinds, shutters, rugs, as well as a huge selection of wood, tile, carpet, and vinyl flooring. Adair's and their skilled installers will make sure your project will go as smoothly as possible from start to finish. The hardest decision you'll have to make is choosing from such a wide range of choices.
Stop by their showroom at the corner of Abrams and Royal in Lake Highlands and let them help you take your home from ordinary to extraordinary. Call 214-503-1324. That's 214-503-1324 or visit their website at adairsfloors.com. That's adairsfloors.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
How the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-700-1134. That's 1-800-700-1134. 1-800-700-1134.
Ever had buyer's regret? A pair of shoes you didn't really need? Electronics obsolete before you even plug them in? Or tens of thousands of dollars of timeshare regret? That's what you get when you're stuck with a timeshare agreement you don't want anymore. We're the Timeshare Exit Attorneys, the leaders in helping folks get out of timeshares and erasing regret. See if you qualify. For valuable free information, call 1-800-500-1967. Maybe you made an impulse buy that has become a financial burden you can no longer afford. Maybe you don't use the timeshare enough to make it worthwhile. Maybe you were pressured by a timeshare salesperson into making a bad decision. Now you want out because your timeshare isn't a fun escape, it's a waste of your money. With decades of experience, we're your #1 trusted option with fast, professional service. No middlemen, no cutting corners, no more timeshare regret. See if you qualify. For valuable free information, call 1-800-500-1967. That's 1-800-500-1967.
This is Michael David from Seattle. I'm 51 years old, and 6 months ago, I started taking Andro 400 to increase my testosterone. Since then, I've lost 35 pounds of fat, and my waist went from size 38 to size 32. I have more energy, and I look and feel 20 years younger. And now my wife tells me I have to take Andro 400.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Utah. After 10 weeks of taking Andro 400, I lost 13 pounds and my waist went from 36 to 33. That was 8 years ago. I continued to take Andro 400 and I've maintained my weight at 172. Gained muscle and energy. I'm 63 now and feel better than I have in 30 years.
Andro 400, the natural way to increase testosterone, lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel great. Try Andro 400, the safe, effective, affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
If you've been suffering from brain fog, the inability to lose weight no matter how hard you try, or a loss of vital energy, you should attend a consequential free seminar by pharmacist Lark Scar Scarborough Swafford. You will learn about the complexities of thyroid dysfunction and what you can do to improve your thyroid health naturally. The seminar will be in Dallas on April 4th from 7:15 to 9 p.m. Call 214-349-8000 today to reserve your seat. Space is limited and filling up fast. Abrams Royal Pharmacy has been helping people improve their health for over 37 years. They provide proactive solutions for health and wellness to meet each patient's unique needs. Abrams Royal Pharmacy is located at 8220 Abrams Road in Dallas and 4909 West Park Boulevard in Plano. Call 214-349-8000 today to reserve your seat to the upcoming free thyroid seminar. That's 214-349-8000. Get healthy. Stay healthy naturally with Abrams Royal Pharmacy.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with John David Wells on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. You should use that tomorrow morning when Mark Davis reappears for the Mark Davis broadcast. He'll be on at 7 and last until 10, and here's what he's going to be talking about.
Hey, JD, happy Monday night, and welcome to the week that we could call Battle of the Hearings. In one room, FBI Director James Comey in a ping pong match featuring wiretap claims and Trump ties to Russia, both of which may amount to nothing. But down the hall, the Gorsuch Supreme Court confirmation hearings, which will save our nation once he reaches the high court to protect our Constitution from judicial activism. Look, we'll have the latest from all these hearings, all the overnight news people need. Tomorrow morning's Tuesday morning Mark Davis show, 7 to 10 a.m. Come join me, everybody, right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Speaking of miscreants in school. Oh, wait, go ahead. Speaking of miscreants in school, there's I guess primary school is like elementary school in the United States. Primary school in Australia, I'm talking about. And I'm trying to figure out just exactly what would have happened in Brevard, North Carolina, when I was going to Strauss Elementary School, if I had come up with the idea to, wait for it, behead one of my teachers. Teachers at a primary school in Sydney, Australia, have been threatened with beheading and other violence from young Islamic students, prompting one of them to quit her job. Documents given to the newspaper allege that 3 staff members have taken leaves of absence owed to stress. They are receiving counseling. They've been awarded compensation after bullying from Islamic students. One female teacher reportedly quit her job after it got too much for her. She claims she quit after receiving death threats to her family from her year 5 and year 6 students, some saying they would behead her. The teacher also said she made numerous complaints in 2014 about the extraordinary behavior in the class. For example, she said she was abused by students after she stopped them from hanging a Syrian flag in the classroom. A Syrian flag? Isn't that where all those peaceful people live? Magic? Syria is where all those peaceful people live that President Obama wanted to import to the United States, right? They're just misunderstood? Yeah. In another example, she was pushed into a corner by students who began marching around her chanting the Quran. The bullying wasn't restricted to teachers. The woman also reported an incident where children bullied other students by saying that someone had betrayed his religion by not going to Muslim scripture. In another incident, she said a group of boys stood around a girl and called her horrible names like dog. The region's education department didn't deny any teachers received a compensation. However, they insisted they weren't aware of any instances of religious-related violence at the school. All New South Wales schools must immediately report all concerns of antisocial and extremist behavior in schools to a dedicated hotline, according to a spokesperson. The Department of Education continues to work closely with law enforcement agencies on such matters. To maintain effective operations and protect the privacy of students, the department will not identify schools participating in these programs. What? Okay. So let's see. Let me try to figure out how this works. I didn't get spanked in elementary school. Almost did. But that's because I was falsely accused of flushing toilet paper, or not toilet paper, but paper towels down the urinals of Strauss Elementary, which, of course, I did not do. But I did get spanked in junior high school. Who was it? John Huggins. John Huggins spanked me. He was the principal there, and he gave me 3 swats for jumping out of the emergency exit of a school bus that was parked. I was being chased by some friends of mine, and I ran into the school bus and basically jumped out of the emergency exit at the back of the bus. I got spanked for it, and I couldn't believe it. I'm going, what? I thought it was ridiculous. I still do, as a matter of fact. But I'm reasonably sure that if I had threatened one of my teachers with being beheaded, I keep thinking Ms. Barnett. Ms. Barnett was my 3rd grade teacher. I think she would have beaten me into the ground. I think she would have beaten me into the dirt. Fists and everything. I'm trying to think of my 6th grade teacher. What was her name? Mrs. Thomas. What would she have done? I think what I probably would have done, me personally, I mean, if I just can't imagine anybody making it through another school day after threatening your teacher with being beheaded. Now let's talk a little bit more about this New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. Where are the Aussies? Where are the Aussies in this country? You know, the men. I mean, it's a known fact that gun cleaning solvent produces testosterone in one system. I guess when you take guns away, when you let somebody take your gun away, you no longer have any need to expose, your hands and so on and so forth to gun cleaning solvent. Therefore, you have no testosterone or something. Maybe it's just because you're just too much of a wuss to take on a 6th grader that just threatened your wife. What are you doing? What is happening to Australia? How many more people do we need in the world arranging flowers? I remember when Australians used to race sailboats for a piece of silver just to beat Americans.
The Australian Cup.
The America's Cup. It's still called the America's Cup, even though Australia won it. Yeah. It's good, though. Yeah. It was funny. I'm laughing in here. What happened to the Aussie tennis players that you did not want to play tennis against? Because The only time that they ever gave you a break was after the match and the blood had stopped dripping off their fangs. What happened to the Australians? Where are these? Do you know what I would do if somebody threatened my wife with
Same
beheading
thing that I
them?
would do.
I would walk up to the little kid in question, right? Grab him by his shirt front, hold him off the ground, and hit him right in the breadbasket as hard as I could with my right hand. And when I watched the last molecule of air whoosh out of his lungs and have all of his lung tissue spasm all at once, I'd throw him on the ground. Then I'd go find his buddy. And I would render same unconscious. Then I would take the carcasses home to their parents. And I would say, Samir, buddy, your son threatened my wife with beheadment today. I just want you to understand something. If he does it again, I'm going to burn your effing house down. Do you understand me? Good. Now let's go have some shrimp on the barbie. Somebody's pinging me right now. Let's see here. On the way, not sure. Yeah. Hang on a second. What? Question mark? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. What? I mean, is that unreasonable? You know, because I'm figuring that anybody that would threaten, even a fifth grader, that would threaten my wife with beheading her, I think that's, I think he's trying to be a man right there, and I think I'd treat him like one. What would your dad do?
I've seen my dad.
My dad would take a trash can lid, right? And punch this kid in the face with his trash can lid over and over and over and over. I mean, it would not be, I mean, it would like, are you kidding me? Oh. This person's worried about being a distraction. Too late. What happened to the Australians? You know, I used to do radio with Craig Ashwood. Craig was the voice of Outback Steakhouse for years and years and years, right? One of the best jocks I ever worked with. He was Australian, and he worked in Atlanta, Georgia at 94Q. Loved that radio station. Craig Ashwood was a badass. I mean, I carry myself, as you can probably tell, I carry myself with a certain level of professional confidence. I mean, it comes from having a dad who briefly was a Golden Gloves boxer. You learn certain things, and I learned how to fight and learned how to handle myself pretty well. And you know, Craig and I got nose to nose a couple of times, but we kind of appreciated each other. I mean, seriously.
Wussification of Australia.
But what is going on with Australia, man? I mean, I would take those kids and I would say, okay, you and your family, bye. Gone. See ya. They've got little islands where they keep people that they don't want into their country. Send those people right there, just immediately. The whole family, gone. Because we don't want to separate your families now. And that's what it's going to take. holding people accountable for this level of behavior. Do not, under any circumstance, allow this because look at this. This isn't the only time this has ever happened. This has happened before. It's like, okay, so you suddenly have MS-13 members from Central America going to your high school as freshmen? Really? You couldn't tell that you might have a little bit of a problem, you moron? You should have sent them home before they raped. I mean, they went around with, they totally destroyed this girl. Couldn't you have sent them back to Central America before they destroyed the 14-year-old American? Seriously? This is the Wells Report.
High-tech bath remodeling? You're kidding, right? No, I'm not kidding. Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzari, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling. You know, we remodel over 200 bathrooms a month, and our customers know the difference in what we do and what other companies don't. Problem for the old companies offering bath remodeling is they're doing it the same way they've done it forever. Is there anybody listening who thinks construction is not advanced in the last 10 years? Take it from me, after 22 years in business, I've seen many things change. From the substrate materials that eliminate leaks to the adhesives that are used to secure the products to the wall and foundation, and even the grout that's virtually mold and mildew proof. When you get a bath remodel from Statewide, this isn't the same one your mom and dad got back in the day. So why take a chance with the other guys who are doing it the old way? We offer a workmanship guarantee for as long as you own your home and a no-leak warranty that's the longest in the industry. And if you call now, you get 20% off. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. Call now.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's a powerful secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $5,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt and make your monthly payment affordable. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-700-3515. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Credit Associates. Live better debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-700-3515. That's 1-800-700-3515.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code 660AM.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Simple Sleep, inviting you to make 2017 the year for a healthier you with healthier sleep. Snoring is not just evidence that, hey, you're really sleeping soundly. It is evidence that there's something the matter. It's an interruption. Sleep apnea is a barrier to the proper amount of air, oxygen, getting to your heart, getting to your bloodstream. Let's fix this. Surgery will fix it, but who wants surgery? CPAP device, big old helmet and hose. Now keep going. Simple Sleep Services offers the best way. The Somnodent device. It's what they did for me. Simple oral appliance. You pop it in, kiss your wife goodnight, and boom. Silent night, even when it's not Christmas. No CPAP, no surgery, just simple sleep. Great people to deal with. Insurance covers it. Dallas and Fort Worth. Let's call them. 469-685-1700. 469-685-1700. If you don't want surgery and the CPAP thing's a deal breaker, 469-685-1700 or simplesleepservices.com.
Warning.
If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears because there's an alternative to bankruptcy and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now. 1-800-600-3018. That's 1-800-600-3018. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-600-3018. 1-800-600-3018. 1-800-600-3018.
660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. By the way, in case you're wondering, Prime Minister Theresa May will trigger Article 50 on Wednesday, the 29th of March, starting the process of the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. The move paves the way for 2 years of negotiations with the EU, meaning the country will leave the bloc in March of 2019. It comes 9 months after the country voted to leave in the June referendum. Britain's envoy to Brussels, Sir Thomas Barrow, has informed the EU this morning that Britain will trigger Article 50 on March 29th. Brexit Secretary David Davis says, last June, the people of the UK made the historic decision to leave the European Union. Next Wednesday, the government will deliver on that decision and formally start the process by triggering Article 50. This is what happens when you attempt to create a government bigger than some of the most famous countries in world history. I'm just saying. It's a pity. Everybody's going to lose, and it's awful. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is John David Wells. God bless you and yours. Make sure you listen to Mark Davis tomorrow morning beginning at 7 o'clock. And keep it right here for the best radio you will hear in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. I'm talking about 660 AM The Answer. See you again tomorrow night.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. So, how's the Trump presidency working out for everybody so far?
Every presidency gets a first wave of serious reviews after the first 100 days, so we thought we would do that at a great event. And you're invited. Hi, I'm John David Wells, and we want to welcome you to President Trump, the first 100 days.
Brought to you by Southwest Office Systems and 660 AM The Answer, Tuesday night, April 18th, the Eisman Center in Richardson. JD and I welcome our network buddy Mike Gallagher and special guest Senator Ted Cruz.
Tickets start at just $19. Backstage VIP at $135.
Tickets on sale now at 660amtheanswer.com. We'll be looking for you Tuesday, April 18th at the Eisman Center in Richardson.
President Trump, the first 100 days. Join Mark Davis and me, John David Wells, along with Mike Gallagher and Senator Ted Cruz. Get your tickets right now at 660amtheanswer.com.
660 AM The Answer and Southwest Office Systems present President Trump, the first 100 days, made possible by our national tour sponsor, MyPillow. Visit MyPillow.com and type in discount code 100 days to buy the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Amazing to realize, but it's been almost 2 years I've been talking with you about Relief Factor, and I can tell you I've been continually inundated with testimonials. This is Michael Medved, and I've received thousands of testimonials